Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 28 of What If Naruto Awakened, the Rinne-Tenseigan. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was neglected and lost everything over an Anime King 2. And enjoy that guys. And I also post a brand new episode over on Anime King of What If Naruto Was Told about the Uzumaki clan from the beginning. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start with the intro. So the last time we left off, as Conan exploded his 60 billion explosive tags right on Naruto as he was swept up in the explosions. There was no humanly possible way that he could survive that, as the explosion went on for 5 minutes straight. She made her way back as Jiraiya was there as well. She wasn't too concerned about him at the moment as she quickly made her way towards Nagato, something that Naruto said really troubled her really. As she arrived only to freeze at the sight as Jiraiya looked inside as he saw what happened. The head of someone in a strange machine was gone. Judging from her reaction, he could guess that this was Nagato or Yaiko. Before she could mutter or say anything, she was grabbed as Naruto was there, completely unharmed, completely unblemished. He snapped her neck right in front of Jiraiya as the man was shocked. As Naruto showed Jiraiya that he was out of his league, he brutally brought the man down, snapping his arms and grabbing by the hair as he created a clone. As Naruto then brought out his own form of Susanoo, a massive titanic creature that towered over the hidden rain. It was then that it seeped in inside Jiraiya's heart, if Naruto wanted to. As Naruto pulled a blade from the back of Susanoo and drive it into the core of the village, everything froze over, all the people, all the waters froze. He then slammed another blade inside as hot magma and flames burned everything, reducing the land to nothing but rubbles and black tar. As Naruto brought Jiraiya straight towards Konoha, he arrived there as he was instantly surrounded as he threw Jiraiya down. The others tried to attack him as Tsunade and Sakura came in. As Naruto looked towards Sakura, he was planning something for her, but no longer. As he sent one of the Chutsuki balls right through her skull, her body was disintegrated on contact. Kiba tried to attack as Naruto take off his head, as repentance of trying to attack him. There was no longer any mercy, nothing. There wasn't any in the first place. As Tsunade had to take Jiraiya to the infirmary quickly as Naruto vanished from the village, as he didn't know that he was being watched the entire time. With that out of the way, as Naruto found himself in front of Madara, as Obito was there as well. Madara had been revived, both Sharingans in his eye, as he was back to his full power in his youth. As Naruto decided to take out the garbage, as he fooled Obito to think that Rain was back, before driving his hand right through the man's chest, killing him. A miserable death for a miserable, lonely, idiotic person. As Madara and Naruto knew that it will come between a showdown between them, as Naruto told him not here. He has created a battlegrounds for him at the land of rain. He will meet him there in some time. First, he has something to do. Madara simply walked away, as he would trust Naruto to come. If he did not, he would come after him. Madara also revealed Naruto's ability, where he sent images to a person's mind. It was so subtle and quick. You could even call it genjutsu. His eyes had the ability to manipulate someone's brain, to make them see what he wants you to see. But with a Rinnegan, and constant fluctuation of chakra to your brain, he could not do it. But Madara knew that, but other people did not. That is why, when Naruto got killed numerous times, or attack or punch, and when Void was moving around, that was Minato. It was because of that ability. Somehow though, it seemed that Naruto was able to pass on that ability to Minato. But Madara did not know everything Naruto can do after all. He barely scratched the surface of Naruto Rinne-Tenseigan. With that, Naruto made his way as Madara made his way towards the land of rain, summoning the Gedo statue. As Naruto was gonna bring the other two tail bases, seems that they just couldn't cooperate. Jerry had woken up back at the village, as he told Tsunade what he saw, the terrifying sight of the Susanoo, something that can wipe the entire village off the map. As Naruto arrived, he had to come to a pause as he was being watched. He then got surrounded by a thick, black mist that seemed to swallow the entire area, turning day into night. What Naruto saw surprised him, for once. So yeah guys, so basically that's what left off. You guys can switch across to place and check it out for yourself. So this is the beginning of this new episode. In the midst of nothingness, one man stood. The ghost of the Uchiha. Madara Uchiha as he waited, sitting on a small rock platform waiting. Behind him was a giant statue of the Gedo statue, sitting there patient, legs crossed. Are you sure he will come? Said Zetsu, the black half, speaking to Madara. Yes, Madara said. I must ask, said Zetsu. Do you know what he's using to control the fourth Hokage and his wife? Well, they are his parents, said Madara, as he looked towards Black Zetsu. Although, the Hokage would never go against the village, and from what you have told me, he has showed signs to kill anyone that has hurt his son in the past. Quite a powerful eye Naruto possesses, isn't it? Is he able to control someone's mind? If he is, why hasn't he done it to you? Well, it's not that simple. It's not a form of mind control. Not even I know what it is exactly. Zetsu was surprised by that, you don't? When Naruto was growing up, one day I was training him. Naruto, on his second mission, to get used to the field of battle, went out to destroy enemy camp. He returned. One of the bandits, the head one that is, was following his command. The man had free movements, he could do as he pleased. He could curse and argue with Naruto. But yet, he wasn't obliged to kill Naruto despite Naruto killing all of his men. The more time he spent with Naruto, the more he come to see him and respect him, despite Naruto just slaughter all of his soldiers. But yet at the same time, he would curse back with Naruto. He would fight with him. And he would not willingly just die for him. But the more it go on, the obsession became a bond of family. So he's able to bend someone's will to his own by making them his family. It's not that simple. The deeper the connection, the deeper the control. Once he does something in your eyes to make you grateful, you fall under his eyes to see things his way. He's not outright controlling you. If the Hokage wished, he would have gone back to Konoha and be by his people, but with Naruto's eyes, Naruto was able to make him see the world for what it truly is. The corrupted, twisted path of Konoha. I'm sure that he showed them his memories, all the beating he received, all the times he tried to kill himself over and over. If that was enough to change them, then I don't know what is. The world is currently at a standstill for war, and he got the Kazekage on his side. He was able to revive the Kazekage after the Akatsuki has removed the tail beast from him. So I'm guessing the Kazekage feel rather grateful to him for that. Yes. And in so, now the Kazekage, as you told me, is on his side. So as you can see, it's not really mind control, because he doesn't cast an illusion or genjutsu. That's a strange part. I do not know how it works. You never asked him, said Zetsu. Yes. But he told me he didn't know how it worked either. In my old weakened state, I could not force him. Are you sure you weren't being controlled back then either? Asked Zetsu. My thoughts were my own. As much as I admire him for his strength that he's grown in battle, I still wish to take him out because he's not following my plan, said Madara. Once you have the desire to kill him, you can know that you are not under his control. But if you can't find yourself to take the last strike to kill him, you will never be able to do so. It is that powerful, said Zetsu. His eye is a complete balance of nature, something you will find out shortly when he does arrive. Zetsu was curious as he asked, what did he do with the bandit? He slit his throat without hesitating. Meanwhile, as Naruto was in the darkness of the forest, unmoving. As he looked around, as he wondered what the hell was going on, how was he here? I must say, usually, I am always the one playing games. Yes, you told me that before. As the person in front of him was none other than Itachi Uchiha. That was shocking given that Itachi died some time ago. But he looked different, his eyes were black. His Sharingan was there, but there was nothing but darkness, except for the red Sharingan in the center. His body was cloaked by darkness. Tell me, Itachi, what have you done to brought you back to the land of the living, said Naruto, as he could only see the man's head, nothing more. I'm guessing you're the cause of this. You say you're surprised, but yet, you do not look surprised, said Itachi. Well, guess I'm just always planning for the future, said Naruto. So tell me, how the hell have you been, said Naruto. I am here to end your life, Itachi said. So, getting straight down to business, said Naruto. Do tell me though, what have I done for you to end my life? I know what you have been doing. With what I've come, I've been able to see into your past. The things that you have done. The things that you have kept to yourself. The things that you did to people to get what you want. Itachi looked towards Naruto. You are truly something that is not meant for this world. Something that needs to be taken care of before it is too late. Oh? And what are you talking about? Your control over people. My brother to be exact. It ends here. Control this, control that. Why do people always say I control people? You know I don't control people. Your subtle intentions, whatever it is. It ends here, Itachi said. So you've seen my past, said Naruto. So you know what I've done. Once people come to realize that they've wronged you in some way, especially your mother and father, they have chosen your side over everything else, choosing to abandon their life at Konoha to please you. But yet at the same time, you don't forcefully control them. I guess you wouldn't to your parents. But what about the others? What about the others that you let mercilessly die for your enjoyment? Well, I guess I was just bored. You've killed hundreds, probably thousands, destroy smaller villages, wipe small nations off the map. You don't show a subtle of hint of grief when you do it. You're a monster. Speaking from literal death incarnate. I've become a messenger of death, said Itachi. And how have you done that, said Naruto. I gave my chance away. Whoa. No, that's something, said Naruto. I know you were always a pacifist. But am I hearing this correctly? Have you gave away your chance to ever pass on to the pure world? To become messenger of death? Itachi, do you know what that means? Of course I do. For all the wrongs I've committed, I deserve this. But if your goal does succeed you, you're going to remain this forever. Nothing but a pet, a slave of Shinigami, to do his wills. Seeing that I banned him from this world, he will probably use you every now and then. Probably send you to other dimensions, to do as he please. I'm not able to grasp the scopes of what you're going to be doing after this. But, Itachi, that was a really stupid idea. Just to stop little old me. I mean, you were dead. Why didn't you just stay dead and enjoy your life? For what I've done, I deserve this, Itachi said. You know, sometimes you're a bit too hard on yourself. Well, I shouldn't be telling you that after all, you're here to kill me. So I guess I should be trying to kill you and all. You can't, Itachi said. I know what you took from the Shinigami. Huh? Why he cursed you to die a slow, agonizing death. You reap souls from him. The souls of Hagoromo Osusuke, Hamura Osusuke, and many others. Many powerful ninjas from the past. You took all of their souls, ripping their life out of the pure world, pulling them from their sleep, pulling them from their peace. Yet you have not done anything with it. As far as Shinigami could see, you have not gotten any stronger. Once you have taken away those souls from him, you reap. You use him as a conduit to reach into the pure land. And you took so many souls away. But he cursed you, and yet you overcome that curse with the use of your parents, your mother knowledge, and father in Fuinjutsu to bind him away from this world, cutting the connection that both of you had to stop the curse. I guess they're well informed, said Naruto. What have you done with those souls? I've also been sent here to retrieve them. They do not belong to you, Itachi said. And they belong to you. They don't belong to any of us. Well, I don't care, said Naruto. Because I'll be taking them. And I don't care what you or anyone else have to say. I won't hand them over. Then you've chosen death, said Itachi, before we could finish. I will dive into your mind and retrieve the locations when I finish. You really think you got that stronger, Itachi, to defeat me, said Naruto. Itachi stepped forward, his body finally being shown, as there was no characteristics of his body. Just a black mass. His arms and fingers were there, but you couldn't even tell if he was wearing clothing. He looked like Black Zetsu, but yet his face was completely untouched, well, except for the blackness of his eyes. You've really turned yourself into something. As Itachi finally removed the hood that he was wearing on his head, as long, pristine white hair came out. What? Did you get scared and your hair turned white, said Naruto. New changes, new me, Itachi said. I wonder, is time different there? You must have trained or controlled these powers before coming to me, right? I mean, you wouldn't have done something stupid as come to me with unknown powers. I've gotten enough time, said Itachi. I will ask you once more, where are those souls? Give them to me, because to reap into your mind would not be a good sensation for you at all. A long suffering agonizing pain before you die. As Naruto sighed, fine, I'll give you them. Only if you spare my life. I'm afraid I can't do that. What if I break my control over everyone? What if I give them their control back? You have not been fully controlling your actions. That doesn't make sense, Itachi said. Finally you understand, said Naruto. I'm just making people see and understand that my way is the best way. I'm not controlling anyone, and finally you agree with me. But no, I don't think I'm gonna give you anything. And Itachi, you can't actually touch me. I don't know what you have gone and done, sacrificing your life to become the pet of the Shinigami. But all thanks to you, you brought me exactly what I wanted. Since I've sealed away death, I'm unable to grasp something that I want so much. But now that you're here, I believe that you can fulfill it for me. As a messenger of death, said Naruto. As Naruto's eyes pulsed. Do you know about my eyes, Itachi? Of course I do. The Shinigami called it perfect balance. Eyes that even surpass the Rinne-Tenseigan that Kaguya Osusuke wield, who I am sure that you know of. Well, I know everything, said Naruto. Yet the information on how you know those things are not in your past. How did you do that, Itachi asked. As I said, Itachi, this is my game, not yours. You think just because you've gained this boost, just because you've turned into some specter of death, you believe you can take me, said Naruto. As he stepped forward, the darkness started to shimmer away from him. Just because you grant this power by death, I've sealed him away, I've trapped him in his own dimension. You think you can come here and stop me? To break up my plans? Who the hell gave you the right, Itachi? Itachi narrowed his eyes as he felt the air becoming hot. The darkness around him started to seep away. You think you can bind me, hold me, restrain me to dive in my mind? Naruto took a deep breath. Sorry about that. The voices has been getting louder. They want me to lash out. But I'm afraid I can't right now. Voices, said Itachi. As Naruto waved his hand as Itachi froze. Itachi looked down confused. How? He said. You see, Itachi, said Naruto as he opened his shirt. As his chest had a massive seal on it. As Naruto dropped to one knee, panting. You fell for my little trap. I know that death would do something like this, after all. Some fool must be willing to take him up on his offer, and I guess you were that fool. You see, Itachi, over the years, I've made sure that my mother and father, and the help of a special friend of mine, Karen Uzumaki, I made them create a seal. It took numerous testing, hundreds of life, but they were just brigand bandits, so that I could find a way to one-up you. You know how powerful a soul is, right, Itachi? Imagine hundreds of souls smashed together in one seal. I mean, it took a lot. I accidentally wiped a mountain peak off the map. because it went out of control. If I didn't have these eyes, I would have probably died by then. But I know a mere seal couldn't hold you, because you became the specter of death. The messenger of death, is it, said Naruto. So I needed more. I needed sacrifice. I needed life. So for the past 3 years, the reason why I've killed so many people, burn, torture, because I need their soul to be in agony when they die. The haunting of their souls. I took them all. The more violent it is, the more powerful it is. And with that, I've done this. Tapping into my own life force. Something my eyes grant me the ability to do. I'm able to unleash my life force onto the seal. A seal that is powerful enough to even hold you, the specter of death. But I'm not going to be banishing you to the other world, Itachi. Because I need you, said Naruto as he opened his chest. Literally. There was no blood or guts or anything, because inside it was empty. There was nothing inside, no organs. Itachi looked on as he saw inside there was 10 floating orbs. It was the souls that Naruto had took. Hagoromo and Hammer was in there. But in the center, there was one of them that was brightly burned. It was red. It was burning brightly, but yet Naruto was containing it. They have been fussing all along, said Naruto. As Naruto released them, they all froze in front of him. As Naruto walked forward, he dropped towards the ground, coughing up blood. I guess it took a lot out of me, he said. You've tapped into your soul to hold me. This won't hold me for too long, said Itachi, as he started to move his fingers. Yeah, but I just need a second, said Naruto as he moved, and slammed his hand on Itachi's head. Itachi screamed in pain. How is this happening? The Shinigami had gave him the power. He was a specter of death. He was a messenger of death. How was Naruto outdoing him? As Itachi felt his soul, the remnants of what was his soul started to crumble away. He felt hollow, empty, and Itachi was just a soul, a fraction of death. He wasn't even actually human anymore. So with that crumbling away, Naruto forced all the 10 souls. The red one seemed to fight him. It was literally fighting him not to go in. As Naruto's eyes pulsed, a bluish aura surrounded his body as he entered his Tenseigan mode. 10 truth-seeking balls. You're going in there. You might be the strongest, said Naruto. As he looked at the soul, he referred to it as a her. But you won't overcome me, he said. He pushed it inside. He forced it inside. As the darkness from Itachi swallowed the souls, Itachi screamed at his face. White markings appeared in his face along with red markings as his body started to break apart. But yet Naruto grabbed Itachi by the shoulder and sink his fingernails into him, forcing Itachi to stay together as the cracks start to realign themselves. Itachi wheezed and coughed, but he could not burst apart. He could not get free. As the darkness started to vanish around them, a bright light exploded from Itachi's eye and mouth. As the light swallowed the entire forest in a blinding explosion, and it was gone. It was like the entire forest was just there 1 second, next it was not. The light that evaporated everything. The ground had sunk deep from the massive explosion. When the smoke cleared, all that left was the rotting form of Itachi. Itachi looked down as his body was literally bones. Nothing but bones. What have you done to me, he said, still able to speak despite being bones. As Naruto got up to his feet, as he was holding something in his hand, but the next moment it was gone. What did you do? One question at a time. The first question to be answered is, what have I done? I used your body as a conduit to help me achieve something, said Naruto. I was gonna try it on death, but given the fact that he sealed away and if I brought him back, it would be a gamble if the seal could hold him. So I was gonna go to Konoha to kill everyone there and take their souls. Well, I was gonna rain lava from the heavens. I was gonna scorch the ground. I was gonna melt their bones off their body. And I was gonna revive them all in a second. I was gonna kill them 10 times over. Just let their souls be that much in agony before I reap it all into me. Perhaps in the seal I've been able to hold death. But you're much weaker, Itachi. Not as strong as him, but a lot stronger. I mean, I might be powerful, but I'm not as strong as death. I mean, The guy is death. But give what I'm gonna do. Let's just hope. What did you do? Itachi said. His voice come out as a whisper. Oh, your body was used as a conduit to keep in some very powerful souls. And I packed them all together to use them with something else, said Naruto. But don't worry, it's not like you will see the aftermath. Well, that would probably make you sad. But you're gonna die, Itachi, and not a normal death. What you've become, your soul is now gone. So when I do take your life, you will remain in limbo, floating around for endless days. How do you know this? Itachi said. What is a real anger here? You're telling me that you weren't able to find out. I mean, you were the messenger of death, right? He didn't know. What are you truly planning? Itachi asks. What am I planning? Said Naruto. World domination? Nah, that's boring. I mean, I've done it already, haven't I? It's just a matter of time before the elemental nation realize that they have to attack or die. And I'll sweep away all of their hope with one attack. It's gonna be amazing. The fireworks are gonna be magical. You are luring everyone into a false sense of hope to make them think that they can win. Just as your amusement? Yes, it's all my fun and games. No, Itachi said. Despite being bones, he was still talking. You're up to something else. You want something else. What is that? Itachi asks. As Naruto stepped closer to the man. How do you know all of these things? How? Itachi asks. It made no sense. Not even death can tell. What are you planning? Are you gonna let me answer or not? Said Naruto. As Naruto sat down. To tell you the truth, Itachi, I don't feel like telling you, said Naruto. So I'll release you now. As he snapped his fingers, Itachi started turning into dust. As the last thing he saw was Naruto, and then nothing more. Nothing. Itachi was aware that he was not gone. He was in limbo. He was aware of his surroundings, but he had no body. He barely had a mind. He was gonna suffer there for eternity. The worst death possible. For choosing to go up against Naruto Uzumaki. He was somewhere where not even death can save him now. Something that was weird to hear, but he chose his path. And he couldn't be brought back. Just what the hell was Naruto Uzumaki? Seems that was a big question right now. And just what the hell was he planning? As Naruto got to his feet, despite not looking it, he was exhausted. Holding those souls inside of him, waiting for the right moment all this time. Constantly sending chakra to stabilize himself. Constantly keep himself from lashing out. Constantly keep himself from not being taken over by different personalities inside of him. But finally he was free. No longer filling his mind with thoughts. No longer talking to him. No longer trying to drive him mad. He was finally free. But it was necessary. All of it was. As Naruto continued his walk, before he blinked out of sight, he was gone. Meanwhile, the Shinigami, who was stuck in his dimension, could not feel Itachi's presence anymore. He failed. But how? It made no sense. He had everything. How could he have failed? The Shinigami didn't know what to do anymore. That was his last option. No one else would be so merciful as Itachi. To risk their life, to risk their peace to go up against Naruto. To forever stay in the mortal world as his pet. Because he was gonna use them in the end. To do things that he could not do because he was trapped here. Because of that damn seal that was still activated and didn't seem like it was gonna go out anytime now. Itachi was his last hope. A man that was willing to risk everything, but now he was gone. Gone. And could never be returned to this plane of existence. Meanwhile, at Kiri, War Room, as Naruto stood inside, as all of the council members were there. Well, this is really happening. Their forces. They're gathering their forces to come after us. As Naruto looked towards the elder that spoke. We have gathered everyone already. The man said after Naruto gave him that look. The San has contacted us. The Kazekage also gathered his people. We're ready, sir, the man said. Over to the side, Minato was sitting down. What are we waiting for? Minato asked. Well, I don't believe the people of Kira should die, nor the people of Sand. After all, they're willing to fight for us. Then what should we do? Elder Kaito asked, a man who was in his late 50s, as he looked towards Naruto. I will stop everything. Bring the forces. Let the nation think that there's going to be a war. Let them think that you have a possibility of winning. Dad, you and I alone shall go there though, to face off against them, to have a small talk before this all begins. I will show them that there is no point where they could have won. I promise you all that there will be no more deaths in Kiri, that our people will not suffer what they did back in the Civil War, and you all will live happily. You all have trusted me so far with your fate. I'm assuming that you haven't. Drop that fate, said Naruto. They all nodded. Of course they have not. We believe in you, Naruto-sama. And I thank you for your support, said Naruto. Your children, your families, they all will be safe. But gather them. Let the world think that they have a way of surviving. Let them believe that they have a way of beating us. Once this is all over, just like the proposal is already there, for what is going to happen with the new world, with Kiri in charge. Sir, what about the San, a woman in her early 20s asked, as she was the head of her house. Her recent mother passing on, and she took over. The San understand their situation, but they will be better than other nations. They understand that we are in charge, but they choose to help us other than the others. So they will get more, said Naruto. I'm sure you're all okay with that. As they nodded. Moments later, as Minato and Naruto walked down the hall. I guess everything is sorted out, said Minato. Yes. Where are you going again? Seems like Madara has been brought back to the land of the living. Madara, said Minato. Since when? Well, you remember what I told you about my training with him? Yes, and he knows about your abilities. It's gonna be difficult, said Minato. Yes it is, said Naruto, but I was never one to shy away from battle. And I can win. I know you can, my son, but be careful. Your mother would not be pleased if you got hurt. Neither would Tiwai. Do you wish for me to assist you out there? You know I wouldn't want that. Yes, I already know that, said Minato. Just asking. After all, a father has to be worried about his son. Well, in this case, you don't have to worry, said Naruto. I'll leave you in charge until I return. I assure you, father, once this is all over, we all will go on a long vacation to enjoy us being in charge of everything. It's finally time that people understand that. It's finally time that they realize that we're in charge, said Naruto. As Minato seemed to be smiling at that. You have come so long, my son. We have both done horrible things to get here. I just hope that this will last. My sister will not grow up in a worn, torn world, said Naruto. She will have a better life. A world where there is no more Jinchurikis. A world where there is no more sacrifice. A world where there is peace. I have already showed you, father, that talking will never bring peace. The only way to bring peace is for the other side to understand that they should submit to the strongest. And the strongest will never fall. And finally, then and only then, they will understand it's either they perish or they die. End this quickly, said Minato. Your mother has been missing you, and your girlfriend has been getting quite antsy that you're not home. When are you gonna make her your wife? Asked Minato. I can clearly see that both of you love each other. When all of this is over, said Naruto, tell her that I'm fine. Tell her everything's gonna be okay. And I'll see her soon. Minato nodded as he vanished. As Minato turned his head and continued to walk down the hall. He knew of Naruto's ability. He knew that Naruto could control the minds of people subtly. In fact, he and the ones closest to Naruto was the only one that knew about Naruto's subtle view on someone's mind. But yet, He did not feel any way about it because Naruto was able to show him his wrongs, was able to show him what Konoha did to him after his sacrifice, was able to show him how messed up this world was. Minato knew that some part in there Naruto had tried to make him understand his way of seeing things by diving into his mind as well. But his son has assured him that once he saw the truth, he made sure that he would never do that again. And Minato did saw the truth. For his new family, for his son to live a better life, for his daughter to live a better life, he would do anything for that. He would sacrifice anything. And he knew how strong Naruto was. That is why he wasn't afraid of Naruto going up against Madara. Because it didn't matter who they were, none of them could defeat Naruto. And Minato had saw that firsthand. Because he knew what Naruto was capable of. And he hasn't even showed the world the full power that he possessed. Never going above the limit, always holding back. And Madara doesn't even stand a chance. As he made his way towards the laboratory, where he placed his hand on the fingerprint scanner, the door opened up. The moment he did, he saw Sasuke and Karen separated from each other. Minato's eyes were fast, so he saw everything full view. They were kissing. Oh, don't let me interrupt, he said. Did you need something? Karen asked. I'll come back later, he said, as he left, looking rather amused. The both of them looked rather bashful. You know, said Karen, no one's gonna say anything if we tell everyone that we're in a relationship. I mean, nothing bad's gonna happen. Are you afraid of telling Naruto? Of course I'm not afraid of Naruto, said Karen. Well, he's gonna say something to piss you off, said Karen. Yeah, but I assure you, once I tell him everything's okay, he won't try or do anything. As Sasuke looked towards her, this was strange how everything has happened. He was just relaxing out there, and she came by. The girl wasn't shy in anything. She told him that she liked him. Sasuke didn't see the point of being shy either, but yet he didn't tell Naruto anything even though Naruto came by. After all, it was his dream of reviving his clan after everything. So why? Why couldn't he start now? As Karen came over and placed a hand on his chest. So, you want to go somewhere more private? She asked. As Sasuke simply nodded, as she took his hand and led him away. Well, there was a first time for everything. Meanwhile, as Naruto ducked as a clock smashed into the wall. Look, I'm sorry, he said, as he had a smile on his face. Do not give me that, she said, as she glared at him. Not even a visit? Where the hell were you? She asked. I was incredibly busy, said Naruto. But I'm fine, he said. I don't care about your well-being. Really? Said Naruto as he held his chest. Why should I? You're basically untouchable. And if I start to worry about you, I'm gonna get angry. And I'm gonna come out there and try to find you to make sure you're safe. Of course I care about your well-being, idiot, she said, as she stepped forward. Where the hell have you been? Well, this and that happened, said Naruto. My great-grandfather came back and all that. Wait, Madara's back? And when were you gonna tell me this? Right now? He ducked a swing. As she swung after him once again, he grabbed her arms before he pinned it behind her as he planted a kiss on her lips. She broke apart. Don't think you can get out of this easily, she said. I know you're gonna be angry for a while. I figure I would just come at the end of the day to make sure that I'll just get the full brunt of everything once I'm done. Then why did you decide to show up now? She asked. Because I love you too much to keep you worried. As her heart seemed to melt a bit at that before she got back stern. She sighed. I know you're gonna be busy, but I missed you. I missed you too, Tewa, said Naruto as he came forward and held her hand. But it is coming to an end quickly. Have you not been having a good time? He asked. Well, everything has been alright. Your mother is rather delightful, and so is your baby sister. So I guess it wasn't all that bad. You know, I was thinking, once it's all over, I want a baby, she said. I was thinking of having 2 kids, said Naruto. A boy and girl. Wait, you thought about that? Of course, said Naruto. Why wouldn't I? When you love someone, you think about those things. She punched him in the shoulder. Ouch, she said. What was that for? As she pulled him down into a kiss. You always know when to say the right thing, she said. She broke apart. So what now? She asked. What else is left? Well, I'm gonna go and deal with Madara. You alone? As Naruto looked at her. Fine. I know that you're more than capable, but try not to have too much fun. And why shouldn't I? Well, when you have too much fun, you enjoy reshaping landscape. And I don't want you to get hurt because you're having too much fun, she said. Don't worry. I told you once before, didn't I? Yes. You told me you will never die and leave me alone. But this is Shinobi World. Well, if it is a Shinobi World, I am past that, said Naruto. Because I'll never leave you. Promise, she asks. Of course I do, said Naruto. As he gave her another kiss. Now, you just stay here. I'll be back soon, he said. As she grabbed onto his hand. Remember, don't be so cocky. And hurry up, she said. I've been feeling rather lonely lately. As she looked towards the bed. Well, you're giving me more incentive to get back quickly. And that you should, she said. Alright then, said Naruto. I guess I won't waste any time. And with that he was gone. She smiled as she exited out of the room. As Kushina was making her way down the stairs. I sensed him. Where is he? Sorry. He just came and left. He had something to do, but don't worry. He'll be back soon. When is all this gonna come to an end? Asked Kushina. Very, very soon, said Teiwaya. Baby, and Kushina's hands start to giggle and wave her hands up to get her mother's attention. Don't worry. Your brother's gonna be back very soon. Everything is gonna be over very soon, she said, as she tickled the baby nose that laughed. Meanwhile, as Snally was in her room, in front of her were the screams. On the screams were the Tsuchikage and the Raikage. As both men were dead silent. As Jiraiya just relayed to them what he had saw. And he was saying that he took out the entire Hidden in one attack. Yes, said Jiraiya. He's trying to place fear into our hearts, said Tsuchikage. But it will not work, we still have to fight. Because if not, then we all lose. What's the point of going there if we know they were going to lose in the first place? Said Snatty. But what else can we do, said Raikage. He's already shown that he's not going to stop. The armies have been gathered. We're still going to fight, Hokage. Are you doubting us? Asked Tsuchikage. Of course not. How could I doubt us? He's already made it clear that he's going to destroy Konoha and kill me and everyone else. So, we'll fight with everything that we got till our last breath to make sure he doesn't win. Well, we're counting on that. Because tomorrow, it's the time that we strike. Snatty released a sigh as she hoped everything would go as they planned. Because if it did not, they will all meet a miserable, suffering end. She didn't even know what was going to happen afterwards. Perhaps everything was going to work out. Or perhaps all of them were going to die. Well, she knew that she was going to die because she was a Hokage. As Naruto would make a public show of her, just to make the others lose their spirit. But she was ready to die for the village. Back then, she wouldn't have cared. It was quite ironic, he was the one who made her come back in the first place. And now, she had to die for the village because of him. It was almost funny when you think of it. As she laughed to herself quietly. As Jiraiya stood there, overtaking everything. A part of him was trembling in fear. From what he saw, that thing that Naruto created that he called the Susanoo, that could level the entire Hidden Rain. What could it do to an army? But still, they had to fight. They could not give up so easily. No, they could not. Meanwhile, at the Hidden Rain, as Madara was sitting there patiently, waiting, not really doing much. He could wait. It was then that he saw. As he looked up in the sky, starting off strong, isn't he? The clouds parted as a meteor was falling from the sky. As Zetsu quickly sank down into the ground, Madara picked himself up as he flashed through a few hand signs. Wood style, he said. Empowered by the Rinnegan and the Senju chakra from Hoshirama on his chest. Madara slammed his hand down as massive vines of wood burst on the ground. Trees that were large. Structure that seemed to tower over the entire Hidden Rain village. But they didn't have any leaf, as they were just pointed as he stabbed into the massive meteor, stopping its descent. As they burst through it, ripping the giant stone to pieces. As the thing split and dropped to either side, boom, the ground shook. "Starting out strong," said Madara. "I was merely testing your reflexes." As Madara looked as he saw Naruto sitting over to the side on one of the falling debris, with a smirk on his face, his legs folded. He was in a new set of clothing. He was wearing a red armor like Madara, but underneath he was wearing blue clothing, not black, as there was a sword on his waist. "I've always liked your armor," said Naruto. "Thought I would have one custom made. Free flexibility and movement. It's kind of awesome," said Naruto. "Well, there's a reason why I wear it," said Madara. "So, let's get the friendly chattings out of the way, shall we?" "Well, kind of missed you," said Naruto. "I mean, you were the one that helped me in the first place. You know, this can all be avoided, and you can just bow down to my rule." "Something that I will never do," said Madara. "So let's find some other compromise, shall we?" "Nah," said Naruto. "You see, I don't want to live in a dream world right now. I want this world to stay as it is, with me in control. I mean, everything has worked out so far. Can't you just accept that?" "I'm afraid not," Madara said. "So then we're gonna have to fight, and I'm gonna have to kill you." "You might be strong, but you're forgetting. I know almost all of your techniques. I know what you can do. Your simple mind trick will work on me. I know where you are at all times," said Madara, as he turned his head, as the real Naruto was behind him, a few steps. "Well, guess I can't hide from you. I mean, you did train me after all. But you don't know everything, do you? I wish to test myself with you, as the way I am right now." "And what do you mean by that?" "You're strong, Madara, but you still need something," said Naruto as he went through hand sign. Summoning Jutsu! There was two poof, as a massive 17-tailed beetle and a 9-tailed fox appeared behind Naruto, both of them sporting the eyes of the Rinne-Tenseigan. "Well, get a move in," said Naruto. The two beasts moved forward. Madara smirked as he waved a single hand. Chains shot forward from Gedo's statue mouth and wrapped around their throats before yanking them as it absorbed them into the statue. 7, then 9. That was a mistake," Madara said. "Seems like you want to be defeated rather easily." "Well, you do want to become the 10-tailed Jinchuriki, if I'm not mistaken," said Naruto. "And I want to find someone that actually gave me a challenge." "Well, I assume over the past years you haven't found anyone that can actually give you a true dance," said Madara. "It must have been rather boring for you." "Yes, incredibly so," said Naruto. "And the ones that I actually want to fight, I can't. Because at the state I am right now, they could kill me really quickly. I'm guessing that you've pushed past the normal means if you're speaking about someone that can kill you quickly." "Yes. I've gone into the depths of death." "Well, I'm sorry about all of your plannings. We'll come to an end right here," said Madara. "We can't work together. We would have been able to get along if I didn't have my goal. And if you didn't have yours." "Yeah, it can't be helped," said Naruto, as the Gedo statue started to twirl, as blood leaked from all the eyes that were now open. "So, bring out the 10-tails and let's have a chat." "You mean a dance?" said Madara. "Yes, a dance of the ages," said Naruto. "That will forever change everything, if I'm not mistaken." "Well, that is if you don't hold back. You're telling me that? I've heard the entire time you've been holding back on everyone. Why don't we give it our all to see who will come out on top," said Madara. "I mean, I haven't feel this giddy for a battle since Orochimaru. I'm sure that you can give me a better battle than him, can't you, Naruto?" "Well, we are a family," said Naruto. "You know what I'm capable of. I know more or less what you are capable of as well. So what do you think?" As Madara smirked, as the both of them spoke at the same time. "Our dance will be glorious," they said. But guys, to be in subs right here. If you want to see the next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. And also, guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Lost Everything Over an Anime King 2, and enjoy that, guys. And also, I posted a brand new episode over on Anime King of What If Naruto was told about the Uzumaki clan from the beginning. And enjoy that, guys, over on Anime King. And yeah, I indeed have 3 channels if you're new. Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post out every single day for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we get the hell out of here? Yeah, see you guys soon. Peace.